Hey everybody, welcome back to Avernum. We did a bunch of random stuff last time, but it was the RNA lair took up most of it, I think. We did a little bit of running around. We're on a quest here for an Empire mage who we found in Formello. Wanted us to go find an assassin. Now, we've already been here. We came here very early on. Said buy some crystals. You suspect that this is the crystal cave Thantria told you about. You inspect the walls very carefully, much surprised when you try to touch the south wall, your hand passes through it. Moments later, the illusionary wall fades. The assassin Monvi must be nearby. Okay. Got a little bonus dungeon here. I don't expect this to be a very difficult fight, but there's a man standing in this chamber, his back to you. He is wearing worn, filthy red robes, and a long, curved dagger hangs from his belt. He must be a blood cultist. There are few of them left. The Empire has had even more success fighting them than it has against the dragons. There are 3 pens off to the side. You can hear beasts snarling in them. Monvi would have called them to his aid, except that he hasn't noticed you yet. If you get closer, that is sure to change. Suddenly, Monvi spins around and faces you. The cultist's hand flies to his dagger. You get a good look at his face in the light of the braziers. He is pale, thin, and entirely mad. Insane even by blood cultist standards, which are somewhat lax in that area. He snarls, so 2 hunters come face to face. It is time for the spilling of blood. Yes, how lovely. Thantria sent me for you. Thantria? That... Monvi refers to her with a particularly objectionable word. Why have you Avernites not taken her blood yet? She buys you, and you take her trinkets like sniveling curs. You killed an official of the Empire? No, I killed a being whose life was an affront, whose spirit cried out and disrupted the great peace. That this offender was one of Hawthorne's sworn lackeys was of no importance to me, he thinks, though I suppose I didn't mind. What are you going to do in Avernum? I will spread the great silence. Your roaring disrupts one of the few places of peace in our foul world. I will fight for the silence, and none else will. Yeah, he's insane. We'll just go ahead and kill him. Poor guy, huh? Nearly dead before he gets a chance to do anything. Monvi says something. You can't hear it. It was barely a whisper. Then he looks towards one of the alcoves and expects help to arrive soon. That's his solution. Yeah, good luck with that. Obviously not a very difficult fight. We should have come here earlier, but... This is gonna be good. Can't quite get that one. So my guess would be that if you snuck around the outside, you could go to the alcoves without him noticing and kill off the bats in single fights as opposed to as a big group like that. Warg skin cloak, 7 armor. Ours is much better. I don't think anyone needs that either. Yours has energy resistance. Yours has the sniper, which I want. Yeah. We'll put it here in the collection for now, but it'll probably get sold. Battle Frenzy. Okay. Okay. Quick and easy. Let's head back to Thantria and see what she has to give us. Monvi is dead. Tell her of your hunt for Monvi. She nods, pleased. Monvi was a coward and a killer. The world is better without him. You should be proud. She gives you a sack of coins and a sparkling necklace. This may be the beginning of a profitable relationship. I have more work for you. I do. There's a settlement to the west, run by a very interesting fellow named Kias. He intrigues us, and we would have him aided. He has sent word that someone is causing him trouble, someone who is no true follower of the Empire. Travel to Kias and assist him. When it is done, return to me with your reward. What help does Kias need? I will let him tell you himself. I have aided Kias. We already went there and did it. You tell her the tale of your battle with Sinak. Sinak, eh? I know of him. You evaded me with another bit of unfinished business well done. Another fool and annoyance to Emperor Hawthorne has been removed. Your reward has been earned. She gives you a pouch of gold coins and a ring. Do you have any more work for me? I do. A resource as useful as you needs to be utilized. There's a dragon named Pyrog. It lives somewhere to the west. It is an enemy of Avernum, and all dragons are doomed to die by decree of Emperor Hawthorne. What I care about is a set of magical papers the creature owns. A spell tome it stole on the surface before it fled into the underworld. Recover it from the beast's lair and bring it to me. Where's Parog's lair? Oh, west somewhere. Tell me about these tomes. Oh, you know, magical knowledge, power, information that will be very much in demand, although I could outbid any other interested parties for the papers. What will you do with the tomes? Take them back to the surface, of course. Emperor law forbids Abernace to have access to the knowledge they contain. I feel like, did we go to Pyrog's cave? Dragon Pyrock owns some magical tomes full of powerful knowledge. The Empire prefers to keep such texts out of the hands of Avernites. Should you find those papers and choose to bring them to Thantria. Interesting. I'm curious now, did we find Pyrog's cave? No, we found Athron. That was the dragon we found. Somewhere west of here, so Pyrog's... Okay, so it's right up by Freehold of Kias. Alright. Our boat is at Kotra. So... this is one way, I guess. We'll head down to the portal. Then we'll take the portal to Kotra. Okay, and now, do we want to go kill a dragon for her? Is that really what we want to do right now? Perhaps we'll do that later, huh? Let's head back down south toward Almaria and continue exploring the Great Cave. Next time we're up north, we'll go kill Pyrog. We've already explored Almaria. Perhaps we can do a little bit of trading. No. You don't have anything better for us still. Can't sell to him. Oh, you know what? We wanted to head up to Fort Draco, actually. We wanted to hand in those Aranea fangs. That's a long way to go. We'll do it later. We'll just keep exploring the Great Cave. Someone has carved a crude sword design into the wall here. The hidden tunnel is interrupted by a dark, swiftly flowing river extending to the north and south far beyond the range of the site. The tunnel continues to the east. Fortunately, someone has erected a crude, narrow stone bridge over the river. What do we have here? The wide gallery ends in a cramped tunnel heading into the chasm wall. There are dried bloodstains on the ground nearby. The tunnel ends in a cave which was once the camp for 8 human soldiers. Their bodies are arranged neatly across the floor. They have been dead for some time and all died violently. 2 things immediately grab your interest. First, the tattered armor of the soldiers bear the crown symbol of the Empire. Second, there is a message painted on the wall in blood. Such is the fate of all above who threw us down. The scimitar. The scimitar? You wonder who that is. The cursory search reveals that the killers did little looting. You find a scattering of coins from both the surface world and Avernum, and a small flask. An energy elixir. Very nice. We did get these. Energy resistance. Okay. And... oh, shit. That's fantastic. We had this one here, plus 4 magical damage. We'll get rid of that. What's her cold resistance at right now? 43? And this goes down to 34. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go with this. That's a lot of extra damage. And it's good armor as well. That's a really nice ring. I didn't realize we got that. We got that from Thantria. Okay. This isolated cavern has been overgrown by a huge variety of twisted subterranean foliage. Unfortunately, you recognize some of the larger fungi in the center of the cave. There's a small infestation of carnivorous plants. If someone doesn't burn them out, they might spread and menace the farms to the north. Um, what's Horde of Elements? Okay, they're not too tough. When Aldous does that much damage, you know it's a pretty easy fight. You search the infested grotto. Unsurprisingly, you find that the ground is littered with bones, rusty weapons, and rotting clothes. You pick up a scattering of coins and a cloak that somehow shows no signs of decay. Polar fur cloak. Cold resistance. Cool. In your travels through the caverns of Avernum, you have consistently noticed the quantity and variety of life forms present, both flora and fauna. Here, that miraculous and varied ecosystem comes to an abrupt end. The great cave in this area is much closer to what one would expect a cave to be. It's a bare, blasted stone wasteland, featureless except for the occasional rubble. For as far as you can see in this area, nothing lives, nothing grows, not even mold. The air is particularly humid and strangely odorless. Nothing lives in this lake. It is a deep, foul-smelling pool of sulphurous water. Fresh from the spring to the north, it is surrounded by yellow, crusty deposits. Yeah. Okay. Um. There's a band of bandits here. They don't attempt to bother you. The simple reason for that is they are attacking a group of merchants that they've trapped here in this cave. We always come to save rogue merchants. Easy enough. The merchants are very grateful for your help. As they bandage their wounded, one of them gives you a small pouch. It contains a scroll. It's not a very good reward, but most of the supplies were destroyed in the attack. Scroll of Speed Burst. Yeah, it's not terrible. Here is Patrick's Tower. Oh, we got some more bandits. That's so satisfying every time. Doesn't matter how many times it happens. Okay, let's go check out Patrick's tower then. Yep, we always check the outside, you never know. And you're gonna find herbs. And other things. Hold on. Fruit? I think this is the first time we've ever seen fruit down here. We have Captain Marco, a big beefy guy with a flushed face, bustles around. He's stirring something up in a big bowl. What are you cooking? I'm making dinner right now. He proffers the bowl. Want a taste? Sure. He gives you a spoonful of some sort of pasta sauce with cavewood fruit used in the place of tomatoes. It tastes hideous. Marco notes your reaction. Not quite there yet. I'm having trouble with the ingredients. What ingredients do you need? I was a cook on the surface before my big mouth landed me down here. Since then, I've been trying to make a good pasta sauce, but I just can't seem to get the ingredients to make it work. If someone could bring me some decent oil or some garlic, well, I'm just dreaming, he returns to his work. If you find oil or garlic, you know where to come. A soldier with one leg and a bitter, angry expression hobbles around the halls. He supports himself with a polished cavewood cane. You're the captain of the guard here. I am. I'm the captain of the tower guard. Big honor, huh? You don't sound too honored. He gives you an ugly smile. It's my big reward, years of service above ground, but someone wants my post, plays a few tricks, and gets me down here. Join the army down here, lead a charge on the Nephilim fort, and, he looks at his leg, I end up at the tower. What's wrong with this tower? The Tower Patrick, far away from anything important and everything interesting. Guarding books. Books! Oh, just go away. I'm sick of all you. He hobbles off. Well, not a very friendly fellow. A pale young man sits in this chair. He seems ill. He's listlessly shifting some papers around on the desk, but he's not getting anything done. He says, a visitor. Nice to have company. I'm Adam. Don't get too close, I'm contagious. Do you work in the tower here? I've been sick for a while, but usually I'm one of Patrick's apprentices. What ails you? I have the flu. I'll be fine in a while. It's a terrible inconvenience. I get fevers and headaches and stuff, and I'm not allowed near the scrolls. What were you doing with the scrolls? I was doing research. I was researching about the uses of various crystals. They're really, really versatile. What other sorts of crystals are there? There are several sorts. Piercing crystals destroy magical barriers. Purging crystals cure you of your afflictions. Wisdom crystals are the most powerful. When you listen to them, you hear voices. You can't understand the words, but when they're done, you're wiser. Who created them? We have no idea. We don't know who they were, and we don't know what language the crystals speak in. Whoever they were, they must have lived in these caves long ago. Now they're gone forever. You have one? Sadly, no. Do they do anything else? Well, I knew one mage who took one to the portal at Fort Avernum. He was going to try to use the crystal's power to reverse the portal's direction. It didn't work. What happened to it? The fellow told me that he barely survived the experiment and that he left the crystal behind at the fort. He wanted nothing more to do with it. Really? Where? He said that he hid it at the base of the statue. I don't know any more than that. You take note of this. Could we wrap this up soon? I'm sorry, but I need to return to my quest. I think we already did that. Someone else told us about this, I think. Is there anything I can do to help you? Not to worry, it was merely a flu. I'll be better soon enough. Okay. There's a series of small bookshelves here, protected by thin sheets of glass. The glass must have been brought down to the surface. Seeing actual books again is a surprisingly moving sight. They are incredibly rare down here. The tome is a fairly simple spellbook. It's mainly here to provide training in the less complicated magical rituals. You take some satisfaction in how far you progress beyond these basic lessons. Nice. Anji. A young woman with short, bright yellow hair walks around the room. She looks at scroll after scroll. She's looking for something, and she's annoyed that she isn't finding it. Hello, She's interrupted by a coughing fit. I'm Anji, lead researcher on the first expedition. What are you looking for? She stops for a bit. I'm looking for accounts of the first expedition. There are certain items they brought with them which I'd like to find. If, of course, she coughs twice, and my health permits. What sort of items did they bring? What I'm mainly looking for is information about Smite. That's a giant slaying spear. There's a lot of trouble with the giants to the north. Finding it would be really valuable. And there was so much more, such as an orb that lets you fly, a mighty halberd made of jade, a massive blade that can protect the wielder from demons, and a dozen other lesser still powerful items. Whatever else you can say about the Empire, when they outfit some explorers, they don't skim. We have two of those already. Kai. You meet a black man with very short hair and clothes made for easy traveling. He is crumbling dried herbs into a bubbling pot. When you get close, he says, "Please step lightly. Too many vibrations will spoil the mixture." He finishes adding the herbs and lets out a little sigh of relief. No explosion. Good. Now I can deal with you. I'm Kai, Alchemist of Patrick's Tower. What do you need? What are you making? At the moment, glue to rebind some of our books. Don't worry, I have permission. They let you do alchemy so near the books? Only a small set of recipes, and mostly those that are needed to maintain in the library. I'm very careful. Why don't you move your workshop? Because the lower chambers, where my work should be done, have all been claimed by Lethem, or whatever mad work he's doing. Do you do alchemical research? Some, as much as I'm allowed. I came here all the way from Formello to study the scrolls and learn how to make one particular mixture. What sort of mixture? Grey mold salve. A special, very powerful healing potion that I almost, but not quite, figured out how to make. He considers you. You seem to have some skill. If you could locate the recipe and teach me how to make grey mold salve, I could make it for you. I would even do it for free. Where should I begin to hunt for the recipe? I do have a suggestion. The main alchemist in the Tower of Magi, I heard, knows how to make it. I forget his name, but I would go there next. What is grey mold salve? An incredibly strong healing potion. It cures disease and damage equally well. Grey mold is only found in the deep cave systems, and it makes an excellent curative. Where can I find grey mold? Another difficult question. I heard rumors that a patch was found somewhere around Fort Emerald. You should ask there. I've learned how to make grey mold salve. At first, Kai is skeptical, then, the more you explain, the more excited he gets. Yes, I think that would truly work. I'm impressed. Now all we need is some grey mold, and I can create the salve for you. I'd like you to make a potion for me. Happily. There are a few non-volatile mixtures I'm allowed to make here. Each requires at least 2 different herbs. Most require energetic herbs infused with magical power. For extra kick. Let me see your herbs, I'll tell you what I can make. Also, if you give me gray mold, I can make gray mold salve for you. Get a bunch of healing elixirs going here. We have 8. We'll take 2 of these over here. It's 5. How many healing elixirs do you have? 2, and you have 2. So we'll do 3 and 3. So they each have 5 healing elixirs. Aldous doesn't need one, he has his own healing. And, oh, look at that, we got an achievement as well. You guys, I don't think you guys can see it. We still have 12 and 16. We could make tons more potions still. The desk contains the standard stationery, pens, etc. You search more carefully and find a button underneath one of the shelves. When you press the button, a narrow section of stone wall on the west slides away. There we are. There are several dusty books on this pedestal, however, you can't make any sense out of their contents. They're mainly obscure notes from obscure experiments. Nothing which could help you. Well, we'll know that they're here when we need to find them. Clearly we will eventually. Hathwissa. There's a very sick woman here, slumped into a well-padded chair. She is half-conscious and mumbles incoherently. Her skin is pale, even by Avernite standards. She is terribly ill. You doubt she'll be alive much longer without help. Try to cure her. You try to heal Hathwassa, but your efforts are unsuccessful. Whatever you need to cure her disease, you don't have it. When you wake her up, you shake her gently, and then less gently. She doesn't respond. Interesting. This library is filled with scrolls. All of them are written on leather and crude paper of the sort made down here. The words painstakingly formed with inks made of moss and charcoal. Though they are crude, that they are here at all and in such quantity is amazing. Rita? Try to decipher. The book is a slim journal entitled On My Searches for the Orb of Thralme, a brief section. So I knew that the orb could indeed enable me to fly. All but the mightiest chasms and rivers could be crossed with arrogant ease. But where was it? My best guess was the Waterfall Warren, a dangerous nest of rapids west of Fort Dranmon. Alas, my search came to an end here. My limited resources would be of no avail against the creatures there. So I moved on. I set my sights toward a much easier to attain goal, the Lost Blade Demon's Lair. I believe I shall find it with ease. I already have both. These large books are catalogs describing in some detail the contents of Patrick's libraries. Since you aren't looking for any particular books, this isn't very useful. Same thing. This tome is a work in progress. It's about the rule of King Micah, wise and popular first king of Avernum. It describes his leadership when driving the demons from Avernum, clearing it for human occupation. It lists his accomplishments in banding the humans together, inspiring them to build a nation out of the darkness. It covers the 40 years of Micah's rule, and of course, since Micah is still alive, it isn't done yet. The book seems surprisingly honest and even sometimes critical. Having only seen the sort of books that Emperor Hawthorne allows on the surface, this is very surprising. Yeah? One more room to check up here. Patrick's Tower is protected by a contingent of Avernite soldiers. However, only the old and the wounded are sent back here. Far from the front, the soldiers here are acutely aware of their unwanted status and they are irritable and defensive. What's down here? We'll wait to check that out in a moment. We'll go talk to Rita, and then we'll talk to Patrick. A young blonde woman sits at the table, reading intently. Books are stacked all around her. She picks each one up, flips through it, shakes her head, makes a little disgusted noise, and tosses it aside. Finally, she looks up at you. It is good to have a break from the wasting of my time. I am Rita the Sage, and you? She smiles. You look like adventurers, just the sort of people I can make use of. If I might ask, what are you reading? She smiles broadly. I have been honored with the privilege of studying under Patrick in his libraries. I read in an attempt to advance magical knowledge of Avernum. I read in an attempt to advance magical knowledge of Avernum. But most such books are worthless. Few gems in the manure. It's been difficult as Patrick hasn't been involved in the work. What topic are you researching? When I must not sort through the waste, magical items. There are a few of these down here, but several sorts of magical charms have been found, and I am trying to tell what they do. I'm working on a certain necklace now. It is slow work, but I keep at it. She starts looking around. I have written a paper on several other sorts of necklaces. It's here somewhere. What do you know about Patrick? His wife, Hathwissa, is gravely ill. She's been so for some time, and when she dies, I don't think Patrick will live long either, and we'll all be on our own. Could I help cure her? Perhaps. You could speak with Patrick about that. He said that you can make use of me. I can, very much so. You're an adventurer, yes? Wandering the deep tunnels and fighting demons and some such. Well, there's a dragon to the north. A pest lives near the giants. The name is Pyrog. I believe she has some magical papers. If you wish to serve Avernum, find them and bring them to me before others can grab them. And I'll be rewarded? Yes, of course, with both money and such scrolls as we make of here. We can pay less than others, I admit, but know that you'd be serving Avernum. Who else is looking for these tomes? Agents of the Empire, eager to destroy them, and those who have ambition to make their own nation in the underworld. The papers would be far better in our hands. I don't have to give the papers to you. You don't, but you should. It would be a good thing for you to do. Interesting. So we can give the papers to either of them. I'll probably go a little save scummy, and I'll hand them to Thantria and see what she gives me. If it's something I really want, then I may give the papers to the Empire. Otherwise, I'll give them here for the good karma. A tired and bent old man sits in the throne. His rich robes hang loosely from his thin frame. He seems very weary and alone. When you approach his massive desk, he looks up, but he barely seems to see you. Decades in Avernum have left this once powerful wizard a shade of his former self. Still, he maintains his sense of courtesy. I welcome you to my tower, traveler. I am Patrick. And this center of learning is my home. This is where I live. My battles are long done. Are you in charge of this fine tower? He sighs. Yes, I am. Once I fought, then I built. Now I just wait. Oh, how I wait. How long have you been in Avernum? Since Avernum began. What did you build? I was one of the triad that ruled the Tower of Magi for many years. We and those under us wrote most of the books of magic you will find in the libraries down here, pouring forth our memories of magical secrets onto crude handmade paper. Thanks to that task, our art flourishes down here. I also led some research. What did you do with the tower? I was part of the first triad with Erica and Solberg, but Solberg is gone now. Nobody knows where he is. Erica left to plot her revenge on those on the surface, and I came here. What sort of research were you involved in? His empty gaze suddenly focuses, and he looks at you intently. On things it can bring great danger to know. Is there a particular specific fact you seek to learn? Nothing in particular at the moment. I'm glad to hear it. There's little I can offer these days. I have faded. Said that your battles were done. What did you fight? His gaze grows distant. Oh, that was a long ago. Long ago. I was one of the group of magi who formed the society who made it possible. We first had to defeat the demon Grahoth. I helped to lead the attack. I helped seal him in Akranath, his prison. How did you imprison Grahoth? Oh, it doesn't matter, not anymore. He's gone, and his foul fort lies in ruin and sealed forever. I'd like to know where his prison is. His prison is far to the west of Fort Spire. It is called Skaragath. You'll have to pass through the abyss to reach it. There are many traps and guardians on the way. Tell me about Akranath. Ah yes, an unpleasant memory. That was Grahoth's fortress once. It is east of here and west of the Tower of Magi. East of here and west of the Tower of Magi, beyond much lava. We sealed it after it was destroyed. Many horrors are trapped inside that fort. We were actually there. That was, we got stuck in there. We can only make it so far. What sort of treasures are hidden in Akranath? There's little but ruin and rubble. Oh, and a royal seal of the Empire. One of the warriors of the first expedition had one when Grahoth trapped him there. If you had use for such a thing, it would be there. I'd like to explore Akranath. Can you help me? I would help you, but first I am desperate, and there is something I need. I must cure my wife of her disease, and I will tell you how to enter Akranath. What is the matter with your wife? She's very ill. If she were given some grey mold salve, it may well cure her, but I haven't seen any of it for a really long time. If someone could cure her, I would reward them well, but until a miracle happens, we all just wait. Where might I find grey mold salve? Grey mold salve is the last hope she has on the surface. It is the most powerful general cure for diseases known. It's an amazing plant, but grey mold is rare, and hardly anyone down here knows how to make a proper salve from it. But if you can find some and save my wife, I will do for you all I can. Where should I begin my search? Speak with Kai, he is the alchemist. Yep, okay, so we have to make a grey mold salve. You're a wizard, can you train me? I am far past my apprentice-taking years. I am old and tired. I cannot help you. This tower is an amazing place. Is it not? It was truly an effort to assemble all of these books and scrolls. People come here from all over Avernum to learn about magic, about history, about the sciences. This tower is the center of civilization in Avernum. Okay. Let's check out the basement. You pass through this subterranean garden, rich with the smells of algae and mold. A few of the plants growing in the trays spit tiny harmless thorns as you pass. Someone is breeding dangerous carnivorous fungi. And then you hear clay breaking. Pots around the edge of the room shatter, one after another. Plants tower from the wreckage, alerted by the vibrations of your footsteps. There is a long pause. Perhaps there is something you could have done to tell them that they shouldn't attack. If there is, it doesn't happen. They attack. Okay. Slowly but surely. Arcanist Letham. There's a mage living down here in the tunnels under the tower. He is young and only slightly pale. He must have been sent down here only recently. His hands have green stains, probably from the plants and the mold he has been raising. Who disrupts my solitude? I told Patrick that I would be left alone. He looks you over. Well, you're a warrior. I suppose that is impressive. I'm Arch- I am Arcanist of the Third Circle. Let them. Were those your plants that tried to kill me? They were. You should not have bothered them. Now I'll have to grow replacements. Arcanists of the Third Circle? That was my title when I was an official sanctioned mage of the Empire. A lofty position, in case you didn't know. What was your specialty? Magic with plants? Curing blights, creating new species, and so on. That is one small consolation of being sent down here. Your flora is fantastic. Why were you sent down here? I accessed forbidden knowledge. I admit it. I should have waited the few years it would have taken to reach Fifth Circle, but tomes of that level were far too tempting. What are you making here? New, powerful varieties of flora. Research in this area has stagnated down here since crazy old Archmage Erica went off and became a hermit. Can you teach me any magic? He nods, and that is my cue to end the conversation. Go to the Tower of the Magi if you need someone to hold your hand. Good day. Well, that's one of them at least. Take the 3-man Drake group. And the piercing crystal wasn't good enough either. Okay. I guess we're gonna look for some gray mold. We actually had gray mold and we gave it to someone for another quest. We need to come here, go to get Kai to make gray mold sell for us. We need to find gray mold. That is our next goal. Actually, we're gonna recast our buffs here. We'll do Ward of Steel for now because it's the cheapest one to cast. And we'll continue searching the cave. Fort Emerald. Somewhere around Fort Emerald is where we were said to be able to find gray mold. Someone mentioned anyways. You walk by a lot of bones. In the secluded niche in the wall, you find what put them there. You can see a spherical creature floating by the west wall, followed by a group of insubstantial beings. You suspect that the floating creature might be a gazer, one of the far more dangerous denizens of the underworld. Although it has seen you with several of its many eyes, it doesn't seem to be in the mood for a fight. Considering how powerful these creatures are, this is a good thing. Now we're going to attack, for sure. And in this case, we actually are going to swap over to Ward of Elements. Ooh, not quite enough. But we'll do a Fire Blast here. If I'm not mistaken, they're immune to lightning, so that's why I didn't use lightning there. Good thing I did Ward of Elements. Not too bad at all. Now that the mighty gazer is dead, you search the area, hoping to find glorious treasures among the bones. Find a handful of pretty crystals, nothing else. Well, you know, it's something. As you walk down the tunnel, you hear manic, high-pitched laughter echoing back and forth through the narrow tunnels. You feel like someone is watching you every step of the way. Gremlin's Gold. The sign says Fort Ist. We found 50 points of interest. We got a Fort Remote. This whole area is one enormous ruin. It seems that at one point some people tried to build a town here. You find ruined stone cottages, shells of farms, and ragged patches of edible mushrooms choked out by the abundant toadstools. It looks like everything of value was probably cleaned out long ago. You don't have the time to search the entire ruin. So there was a city here, and there's another... It doesn't go anywhere. Interesting. You had stumbled into a band of gremlins. They are 4 feet tall, brightly colored, muscular, and by any measure you can think of insane. The creatures charge at you, claws bared, laughing maniacally. A nice cave. Not too bad at all. A little bit of XP. Okay, we will check these out. We don't have enough time to check them out this episode, but we do have some time to fill out some of the blank space on our map here. This is towards the castle here. This hill is a gigantic fumarole. Boiling, steaming sulphurous water shoots from many narrow crevices and pours down to the south. The ground is covered with thick yellow deposits. The air reeks of rotten eggs. Someone has built a hut at the top of this hill. You aren't sure who would choose to live at a place like this. Is this the castle? Yep. This is the castle. That's not as impressive as I thought it would be. Couple random bandits. Yeah, they chose the wrong fight. Alright. Got a cache here. This connects up here towards where the Lich was. You see some people working on the shore and walk over to investigate. Unfortunately, you found a Slith raiding party coming ashore. You have done the farms of the Great Cave a very good deed, saving them from a surprise Slith attack. Unfortunately, you do this good deed by bringing their attack upon your own head instead. Ooh, that's bad. Immobility. We'll miss out on one, but we'll get the rest. The raiding party has been destroyed. One of the shamans is wearing a shawl of clumsily stitched rat skins. It's a very odd and also disgusting garment, but there's something about it that catches your eye. You take it. Ooh, 7 armor, acid resist, and crit chance. That's cool. Yeah. Absolutely, that goes on you. Very nice. This doesn't go anywhere. Well, not what I wanted to do. Also not what I wanted to do. Okay. Well, we're gonna finish exploring the general area of the Great Cave and probably head to the castle in the next episode. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, leave a like and consider subscribing, and I'll see you all in the next episode.